everybody, my name is Rita May, and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time stopping by, please click the subscribe button. So today's video is going to be on interview tips. I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few tips that I have that can actually help you nail every interview, every corporate interview to be precise. I'm not going to focus only on IT interview tips. I'm going to be giving general tips so it can go with any career as long as it's a corporate career. Yeah, I'm going to be giving you tips on what to do before an interview, during an interview, and after an interview. So if you're interested, please continue watching this video. So the first thing you want to do before an interview is to do research on the company that you're going to interview for. Most corporate interviews, before you go in, they must have sent you a confirmation email with your information, whoever is going to be interviewing you and all that. So what you want to do is to go on Google the company and see what the company is about, see what they're into, have like an idea of what the company does. And also you can go on professional websites and check out whoever is going to be interviewing you. You can go on LinkedIn, you pull up their profile and see what they look like, because you don't want to go to an interview and you have no idea what the company does, because maybe they might ask you and be like, oh, do you actually know what we do? And it's going to be kind of like embarrassing that you're going for an interview, you're going to interview for a company, or you want to work for a company that you know nothing about. So it's always good to do research on that company. Another thing you should do before your interview is to prepare common interview questions for whatever position you're going to interview for. You can always go on Google and you can Google common interview questions for whatever position that you're going to interview for. When you go on Google, you can go on YouTube and watch videos. Trust me, you'll find a lot of information about it, and it can actually help you to know what they might ask you when you go for your interview. So that's very important. And that brings me to the third part, where when you Google all those questions, make sure you practice them, make sure you rehearse them. Trust me, do not just rehearse mentally, do not just stay and rehearse in your head, because trust me, when you rehearse mentally, it actually sounds different. Trust me, it sounds totally different when you voice it out. Do this. My advice to you is to actually get a friend, or you get your brother, your sister, whoever you're comfortable with, have them ask you these questions and you actually answer them, like voice it out. Trust me, it's gonna sound totally different from what you've actually mentally rehearsed. So actually rehearsing physically, you can, if you don't have a friend or if you don't have anybody that you can, rehearse with, you can always ask yourself these questions and then you answer them. And then while doing that, record yourself answering these questions and actually listen to yourself talk. And if you listen to yourself talk, you're going to notice a lot of things that you shouldn't have said, or notice a lot of mistakes that you've actually made, and then you can correct them. Practice as many times as possible. Trust me, practice makes perfect. Another thing you want to do is to prepare your selling points. I'm going to call it selling points. Prepare things that if they ask you, okay, why do you think you're fit for this job? You can tell them that, oh, I'm a team player, I'm always on time, all this kind of, prepare all those things to say about yourself in case they ask you that question. Another thing you want to do before your interview is to prepare questions for the interviewer. 99% of the time when you go for an interview, when you're done, they always ask you, the interviewer will always ask you, do you have questions for me? It's not bad if you don't have any questions for the interviewer. So it's always good for you to prepare questions for them. You can prepare questions like, oh, okay, if I get hired tomorrow, what do you expect from me? Or you can ask them, what are the challenges that come with this position? Trust me, most interviewers feel like when you ask them questions, it shows that you're more serious, like you're more, enthusiastic. You really want to know more about the position and the company. So it's always very good to prepare questions for the interviewer. What you want to do before your interview, which is very important, is to study your resume to the bone. Make sure that whatever it is that you've put on your resume, you can be able to back it up. Trust me, before those people called you in for an interview, they had seen your resume. They saw that you were qualified for the position. That's why they're calling you to come in for an interview, for you to be able to back up whatever it is you've put on your resume. Another thing you want to do is to also study the job description of the whatever job you're going to interview for. Study the job description. If there's anything there that you're not versed with, you can always go on Google and Google all those things to at least have an idea of what those things. Another thing you want to do before your interview is to actually see how far wherever you're going to is from your house. You want to Google the address to see how far it is so you can be able to manage your time, know when to wake up the next day. Also prepare your outfit. My advice to you is don't wear colorful outfits. You can either wear black and white. Don't wear all black, don't wear all white. For ladies, you might want to do like a hairdo that's really simple. If you want, you can put your hair on a ponytail like I've done. Like do hairdos that brings the hair out of your face. And also one very important thing, I cannot stress about this enough, do not wear perfume, do not wear cologne. Deodorants, okay, if you wear your deodorants, you're not gonna stink. So that's something that is very important. There are so many people that are allergic to certain smells. You don't want to wear a perfume and then you go to the interview, maybe whoever is interviewing you is allergic to that smell, and then you don't get a job because you decided to wear Gucci. No, do not wear perfume. Go cologne-less. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, do not wear perfume or cologne. Another important thing too is to make copies of your resume before you get there. You want to have extra copies should in case you go there and maybe the interviewer didn't print out your resume. So you might want to have extra copies of your resume should in case they ask for it, so you give it to them. I know they have it on file, but sometimes they're too busy to print it out and all that. So it's gonna make you look good and responsible if you actually go there with like extra copies of your resume. So now we're gonna get into the things you should do during an interview. I mean, I'm not gonna stress and tell you guys to wake up early. You know you have to wake up early. You have to be there at least 30 minutes. Trust me, 30 minutes before time, because most times you can get lost finding the place. Sometimes Google Maps will take you somewhere else, whatever. So get there at least 30 minutes before time. You can do 15 minutes if you're really sure that you know where you're going. And ladies, don't do too much makeup. I don't know, maybe what I have now, I don't think I can use this as an example because I think I have a lot of makeup on. I mean, it's not that much, but if I were you, I would like lose the fake lashes and everything. Just go simple, lip gloss. Don't do too much. So during the interview, when you get to the interview, you want to maintain eye contact with whoever is interviewing you. Look them in the eye. When you're shaking their hands, firm handshake. Be confident. When you sit down, sit upright. Do not lean. Do not put your hand on your cheek or whatever. Sit upright and look them eyeball to eyeball. I'm not saying be scary and look them eyeball to eyeball. If they ask you any questions, look them in the eye and answer the question. Because when you start doing this and doing that, it makes you look suspicious. It makes you not look confident about what you're actually coming for. Like, it just makes you look suspicious. So you don't want to do that. Also, you want to always smile. Like, you guys have no idea what smiling has done for me at job interviews. Trust me, when you have that smile on your face, it makes you look welcoming. It makes you look friendly. You don't want to go there and you're all serious. No, smile when necessary. Like I said, it's not all about being technical. Those people know that you're qualified. Like, just the way your body countenance, your body language, the way you interact. Some people actually get jobs without the interviewer even asking them anything technical. Just the way they carry themselves, just how confident they look, you see, you get your job. So all those things come into play. And then there are so many common questions that interviewers can ask you, but I'm just going to give an example of one question that I think a lot of people always get it wrong, and it's the question of tell me about yourself. So tell me about yourself doesn't mean that you should tell them personal things about yourself, or you should tell them, oh, I'm from a family of 9, or I'm engaged, or I'm getting married, or I have 5 kids. No. Tell me about yourself. They're simply asking you to tell them about your professional career. That is where, like, if they ask you this question, you have to actually jump for joy, because if you get this question right, the probability of them asking you any more technical questions is really low, because this question gives you an opportunity to tell them a rundown of your career, what you have been doing, the companies you've worked for, what you've learned so far. Trust me, if you nail this question, you're like 99% sure to get the job. So how you answer tell me about yourself is really going to determine if the interviewer is gonna, try to dig deeper or whatever. Like I said, if you're telling them all this, tell them that, okay, you work for this company, tell them everything, like only professional. If they don't ask you about anything personal, do not tell them anything personal. It has to be professional. Some other common questions that most interviewers always ask is, okay, have you ever had any confrontation with a co-worker before? Have you ever had any problems with a co-worker before, and how did you manage the situation? Sometimes they'll ask you, did you like your boss in your previous company, and how did you see your boss? Trust me, you don't want to say anything bad about your previous co-workers. You don't want to badmouth anybody or your company. So when you're asked all those questions, try to turn it around. Just tell them, oh, I had this encounter, but try to give them like an example that's not going to make your co-worker or your boss or your previous company look bad. You want to avoid situations like that, because they want to know if you're that kind of person that will say bad things about a company or whatever. So you want to avoid all those scenarios. Just give a plain scenario, or you can tell them that you've never really ever had any encounter before. It's okay. There are people who go to work and they never have to encounter all those things. It is okay to tell them that you've actually never had a problem with a co-worker before. It is okay. It's good. And also, when you're done with your interview, when you get home, always send a follow-up email. Always make sure you send a follow-up email thanking them for having you, thanking them for their time, and asking them about next steps. Sometimes they tell you right there and there if you're hired. Sometimes they'll tell you, oh, we'll get back to you. But if they don't, even if they do, always send a follow-up email thanking them for their time. Trust me, if you do that, they'll be like, oh, this person is really, really, mindful and thoughtful to actually send a follow-up email. It doesn't matter if you don't get the job, it's fine. Whatever, if you don't get the job, it's fine. There are many other opportunities out there. So I want you guys to know that as you're going in for an interview, don't take it like your one and only interview. I mean, do your best, but know that even if you don't get the job, maybe that wasn't the right job for you. Maybe there's something better out there. So never give up if one interview doesn't go right. Trust me, there are 1,000 more opportunities out there. If you made any mistakes, learn from those mistakes, okay? Use that as an example, use that as a lesson to actually nail the next interview that you're gonna have. So not doing good at an interview is not the end of the world. Put that in your head. So we've come to the end of this video, and I hope I was able to help 1 or 2 people out there with the tips that I just laid out, hopefully. So yeah, if you haven't checked out my previous video on pursuing a career in IT, you can always click on my profile and the video is right there. Like I said, I don't know what this channel is going to be about, but I think it's about knowledge sharing. I'm actually going to be sharing knowledge about things that I've actually been through, things that have actually helped me, and I think I can help other people with. I don't know what my next video is going to be about, because if you have any ideas, let me know. Thank you for watching and have a good one.